Welcome to the place where your soul remembers what the world made it forget. This is more than a motivational video. It's a revelation, one that was hidden in plain sight by Neville Goddard until his final days. And once you hear it, once you feel it, nothing in your life will ever land the same again. This isn't about manifesting cars or houses. This is about waking up to the truth that you are the source. That every time you say, "I am," you are not just describing yourself, you are invoking God. Today we'll unlock a forgotten technique from one of Neville's last lectures, a key so powerful it made even his most advanced students pause. If you've ever felt like your manifestations weren't working, if you've spoken all the right affirmations but still felt stuck, then lean in. This could be the last video you ever need to hear on manifestation. If that sounds like something your soul has been waiting for, subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and most importantly, share this message with someone who needs to remember who they really are. Now let's go deeper. There comes a moment in every seeker's journey when the words no longer satisfy, when techniques become noise, and desires begin to echo with a hollow ring. It's in that silence, that sacred dissatisfaction, that something deeper begins to whisper. A truth not taught, but remembered. Neville Goddard called this truth the final revelation. And in one of his last lectures titled, "God and I Are One," he didn't just hint at it, he declared it. With clarity, without apology, no longer concerned with appealing to minds, only to souls. And in that lecture, he said something that pierced the veil. The I am within you is God. There is no other. Not a metaphor, not a poetic idea, not symbolic language meant for interpretation. He meant it literally. The voice within, the one that says I am, is not yours. It is God's. It always was. It always will be. Most people miss the power in those few words, brushing past them the way we brush past everyday miracles. But you didn't. You stopped. You leaned in. Because something in you remembers. You remember that before there was a name, a job, a story, a past, there was awareness. Pure, untouched, holy, and that awareness spoke two words before anything else: I am. Those two words didn't describe something, they created it. Let there be light wasn't a wish, it was a command spoken from the I am. You've used that name all your life and never known its weight. I am tired, I am not good enough, I am trying. Each time you weren't just complaining, you were invoking the Creator. Neville said, stop using God's name in vain, not just with profanity, but with limitation. Because when you attach lack, fear, or doubt to the name of God, you are shaping your life into the image of that falsehood. And life, being obedient, will obey. So let's begin at the beginning. Strip away the desires for a moment. Strip away what you think you need. Forget the techniques, the scripting, the vision boards. None of it matters, not yet. Let's go to the root. Sit in stillness, right now, right here. Take a breath. Close your eyes, not to shut out the world, but to remember the one within. And say silently, I am. That's it. Not I am wealthy, not I am healed, not even I am ready. Just I am. Feel it echo in your chest. Let it rise like a tide inside you. And in that moment, if you're quiet enough, you'll realize something profound. You don't have to become anything. You already are. You are the awareness in which all things move and have their being. You are the original cause, the spark, the Word made flesh. This is the truth Neville spent his final years trying to express, and it's why most people didn't understand him. Because this isn't something you learn, it's something you remember. The I am is not a step in manifestation, it is the source, the core, the Creator. So stop trying to use it to get something. You are not using God, you are awakening as God. And when you sit in that awareness, when you no longer try to make things happen, but instead realize they already exist within you, creation begins to flow. Neville said, "Your assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact." Why? Because it's not about truth in the world, it's about truth in your consciousness. And consciousness is the only reality. You are not praying to a distant being, you are praying to yourself. Let that sink in. You are not waiting for heaven to hear you, you are heaven expressing itself as you. The moment you say, "I am," the prayer is already answered. So what do you attach to that name? Because now, after stillness, after awareness, this is the moment to speak, and your words must carry weight. Not wishful thinking, not empty affirmations, but declarations forged in truth. You don't say, "I want healing," you say, "I am healed." Not because your body has changed, but because your being has remembered its wholeness. You don't say, "I hope abundance finds me." You say, "I am abundance," because lack was never real. It was a veil, a thought dressed up in belief, and now it has no power over you. You don't say, "I wish someone would love me." You say, "I am love." Because love isn't something you receive, it's something you radiate once you know who you are. The world responds to the "I am," not because the world has power, but because you are its mirror. And when the mirror reflects wholeness, the world cannot show you anything else. This is not a technique, this is a return to the beginning, to the garden, to the moment before the lie. Neville once said, "Dare to believe in the reality of your assumption and watch the world play its part effortlessly and perfectly." That means your job is not to make it happen. Your job is to assume the feeling, to speak the word, to declare the end, and then to rest. Just as God did after creation. Creation is finished. You're not here to build it. You're here to awaken inside of it and see it unfold. But beware, your old mind will resist. It will scream, "Look at the facts." It will point to the bank account, the diagnosis, the text that never came. But you are no longer living by sight. You're walking in a new law now, the law of I am. And in this law, reality does not inform your identity. Identity creates reality. So the question is not, what do I want? The question is, what have I claimed to be? Because once you say I am, it is done. So speak carefully now. Don't speak as someone hoping for change. Speak as the cause of it. When you say I am, you are not describing your circumstances. You are releasing a decree that life must obey. You are speaking not as the character in the story, but as the author behind the scenes. And authors do not beg their stories to change. They write them, word by word, truth by truth. So choose each I am like a sculptor chooses each strike of the chisel. I am powerful. I am whole. I am light in this world. Let every I am become a stone in the foundation of your new life. Because this is no longer about waiting for something to shift on the outside. This is about awakening to what's already true on the inside. Neville said something most people skipped over. You are already that which you want to be, and your refusal to believe it is the only reason you do not see it. Read that again. Your refusal to believe is the only delay. Not fate, not karma, not timing. Just disbelief. And disbelief is nothing more than the forgetting of who you are. So let today be your return. Right here, right now, let the veil fall. Stop imagining that God is watching you. And start realizing that God is being you. Yes, you. The breath in your lungs, the consciousness behind your eyes, the silent awareness that hears these words, it's not yours. It's God's awareness as you. It is I am in disguise. No robe, no thunder, no distance, just you, ordinary and divine. And when you realize this, something shifts. You stop striving to attract things. You stop chasing after love or money or health, because how can you chase what you already are? You no longer say, I am becoming, you say, I am. Be still and know. Know what? That I am is God. Neville taught that manifestation doesn't come through effort. It comes through assumption, through dwelling in the end, through occupying the state of the wish fulfilled. So stop trying to figure out how. That's not your job. Creation has already been finished. All possibilities exist now. Your only job is to choose. And how do you choose? Not with effort, not with desperation, not with pleading. You choose by assuming the identity of your desire. You say, I am, and you mean it. You say it with no room left for contradiction. I am healed, even while the pain lingers. I am wealthy, even when the bills remain. I am loved, even when the silence feels unbearable. Because you're not speaking to reflect your circumstances. You're speaking to reshape them. This is not lying. This is not delusion. This is faith. And Neville defined faith as loyalty to the unseen reality. Anyone can say, I am, once the evidence appears, but the world doesn't need another echo. It needs a voice. It needs someone who will speak light into darkness. Someone who will say, let there be, and then walk away, knowing it is so. You don't have to prove anything anymore. You don't have to hustle to be worthy. You don't need the world to validate your dream before you believe it's real. You don't manifest by convincing. You manifest by identifying. What you identify as, you become. Not in theory, in form. So if you want to change your life, don't try to change the world. Change your identification. Neville made it crystal clear. Change your conception of yourself, and you will automatically change the world in which you live. And how do you change your conception? With the words, I am. Let them become sacred again. Let them become holy. Don't just throw them around carelessly, because every I am is a command. Every I am is a creation. And every time you say I am, the universe listens. Not with ears, with law. You are not punished for your assumptions. You are manifested by them. That is the law of consciousness. That is the law of I am. But this law works both ways. When you say, I am stuck, you become it. When you say, I am always overlooked, you reinforce it. When you say, I am not ready, you delay it. And life, like a faithful servant, simply reflects what you believe yourself to be. Not what you hope to be, not what you pretend to be, what you are, by identity. So stop for a moment, right now. Ask yourself, what have I been attaching to the words I am? Look at your inner dialogue. Have your prayers been declarations of truth or quiet confessions of lack? Have you been trying to use I am like a magic formula, or have you been wielding it as your birthright? Because it matters. You can't fake vibration. You can't trick consciousness. You can only align with what you're willing to believe is already true. And that belief, it must go deeper than emotion. It must sit in the bones. It must become still. It must become you. So the next time you say, I am, pause. Feel it. Let it rise from the deepest part of you. And if what follows does not reflect who you wish to be, don't say it. Never again let God's name be used in vain by describing a self you no longer wish to live with. Speak like it matters, because it does. I am free. I am chosen. I am unshakable. Say it with stillness. Say it with knowing. Say it as if the world has no choice but to bend, because it doesn't. The moment you speak I am, the story shifts. You're not here to explain yourself. You're not here to earn it. You're here to become it. And becoming doesn't happen in the future. It happens now. So let it happen. From this moment forward, speak from the mountaintop. No more begging, no more bargaining, no more waiting for a sign. You are the sign. You are the signal to your world. When you rise in the morning, you are not simply waking up, you are activating creation. The second your awareness says, I am, the divine clock begins to turn. Realities start organizing. Possibilities lean in, waiting to take form. So move through your life as though God just spoke through you, because He did. In the silence, in the stillness, in the whisper of I am, the Word became flesh. And now you must walk it out. You must dress yourself in that identity. You must carry your body like it has already been restored. You must respond to the world as one who already holds the answer. Neville called it living in the end, not imagining from the desire, but from the fulfillment. From the state where it's already done, not someday, now. And here's the secret. When you live this way, the world will reflect it without effort. Doors will open, not because you knocked louder, but because you became the person who walks through them. People will change, not because you forced them to, but because your vibration made it impossible for them to stay the same. Money will arrive, not because you chased it, but because you finally stopped declaring, I am lacking. Love will show up, not because you begged for it, but because you no longer claimed its absence. Everything you seek begins to seek you the moment you stop contradicting your spirit with your speech. Let the old identity fall away. Let the I am tired, I am afraid, I am unworthy dissolve into silence. Because those words were never true. They were inherited echoes. They were borrowed beliefs. They were passed down patterns, not prophecy. And today you return the false garment. You refuse to wear limitation another day. Instead, you clothe yourself in truth. You walk in the garment of I am healed, I am whole, I am loved, I am divine. Not because your world changed, but because you did. And now the world has no choice but to catch up. Neville said, do not waste one moment in regret. For to think feelingly of the mistakes of the past is to reinfect yourself. So stop replaying what was. Begin claiming what is. You are the living temple, the dwelling place of the I am. The voice that once said, let there be light, now speaks through you, not through titles, not through robes, not through rituals, but through ordinary, radiant you. So walk now, not with arrogance, but with certainty. A quiet certainty. A holy silence that walks ahead of miracles. Because when you speak from the I am, the word doesn't just echo, it creates. Speak with intention. Walk with presence. Radiate the unseen. Let the world witness the unveiling of who you really are. Let it see what happens when someone stops asking for power and starts embodying it. Let it see what changes when a soul awakens, not to a technique, but to truth. You are not becoming anything. You are remembering. And what you remember now, you can never forget. This is the great secret. This is the sacred technique. This is the final message. God and I are one. So now speak it. Live it. Rest in it. Let every I am from your lips be wrapped in reverence. Let it be sacred. Let it be final. And let the rest of your life respond in kind. You are the voice of the Creator. You are the Word made flesh, and your time is now. And now that you remember, now that you've spoken, I am, not as a phrase, but as power, not as a hope, but as truth, take this moment and do what Neville Goddard would have asked. Declare who you are. Right here in the comments, complete the sentence. I'm, let it be sacred. Let it be bold. Let it be final. I'm healed. I'm free. I'm light. I'm the living Word. Type it not as a wish, but as a command to the universe. Then, if this message touched something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Send it to someone you love, to someone who's forgotten the truth of who they are, because the moment you share it, you become the messenger. And if you want to keep walking this path with us, subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and come back every day for more cinematic teachings rooted in the wisdom of Neville Goddard. Because you're not alone on this journey. You're awakening. And so are we. So go on, speak it, live it, share it, become it. I am. We'll be watching, and we'll be walking with you.